I bought another soldering iron, and this come from China through AliExpress, and it says green project, lead free, ESD safe. It's a surface mount workstation. But the thing is, this was only 65 Australian dollars, free shipping. So this is how it comes. It did come in a plastic bag somewhere, but I'm not going to worry about that. Anyway, we'll pop this open and check it out. If I can get it open. Oh my God. Please open. Hang on a sec. There we go. Wacko. First of all, what do we got? We have some instructions. I can't read that writing. Oh, there we go. There's English. There's a few languages on it, so we got that. The soldering iron with a protector on the tip. These are pretty standard actual soldering iron assemblies. It's got Bolly or something written on it, but anyway, something. Oh, it's actually raised print. Now these usually have really horrible cables, and on my ones I get rid of the cable and I put a silicon cable on. But this one is quite soft. I'm quite amazed. It bends really nicely. It's not like the hard PVC ones. Standard 5-pin connector. You'd think you're working on metal detectors. But anyway, that's that. So we have the iron. It comes with a holder tray. Oops. Might as well just check everything out. I know how this goes. I think it just goes in there. Well, I've got it around the wrong way, knowing me. How about that way? I'm pretty sure it just, it clips in there like so. Bit of a hard push. That's plastic, so every so often you'll hit your tip on that, and it'll stink. But that sponge gets a lot bigger than that. You put water on that, it goes to about 10 times the size. We have a metal tray, but this one here looks like it has a nickel plating on it or something of that nature. Maybe it lasts longer than the other one. The one on my one, the other iron rusted out. So that's okay. We got some tips. Standard pack of 5 tips. The only one I like in there is the one on the end. That's too fine. That's a 1.2 mil. They call it a 1.2 mil tip. It's too fat, and for doing electronic component work, you really want something that can get a bit of heat in there quickly, but not like these little ones. They usually bog out and cool down too quick. You can't get a good connection. So we've got the tips. We've got out you come. Okay, this has screws. Whoops. magnetic. This has got a heat gun with it, and the magnet here inside turns the heat gun off and on. If it's not in the holder and you actually try to turn the heat gun on, it will not work. It's got to be in the holder, and then you turn it on, then you can take it out. So it is a safety feature. There's one screw, there's two screw holes. I'd say the other screw is probably in there somewhere. What do we got here? An IEC power connector, standard. But what am I going to do with that two prong thing? Dear me. I got plenty. These are just kettle cords. We call them kettle cords, and I got heaps of them. So it's no big deal that I've got the two prong special that won't go in the power receptacles here in a million years, because we use flat type, usually with a earth connection. Oh, still more. Oh, look at that! They actually give you some solder. Okay, what else we got? My God, it even comes with a solder sucker. God, it feels light. It's alloy. This part's alloy, that part's plastic, and this is all plastic. Oh, it's hard. There we go. So we got a solder sucker. Yep, Teflon. It's got a Teflon tip. Thank God, not plastic. Yeah. Oh, it still keeps coming. We have some tweezers. Even though these are just pressed springy metal type things, they actually would work quite well for picking up surface mount components. They feel all right. So add them to the collection. What else is some nozzles for the hot air. 3 nozzles, different sizes. We've got a lot of stuff so far. Okay. Oh, there's that screw I was saying. They did put the screw in there and it did fall out. There it is. We'll stick it on the magnet. There it goes. So I can just stick on the magnet there. Okay. I'm just looking at this. Where does that go? Okay, I'm at a loss there. We'll work that out. I might have to drill some holes in it. I don't know. Now, some packing. And this will be the hot air gun. And these are pretty generic too. Let's undo this. I just want to feel how soft the cable is. The worst thing about any of these irons is if the cable's really stiff, it's really hard to bend and move around, but that's okay. It's a little bit, it's thicker than the one on the iron, so it's a little bit more, stiff. This one here is nice and soft. I like that. That's how the cable should be on the iron. And this one here, that's okay. It's bendy. So that's the hot air gun. When you use these, which you tend to grab it. You don't want to grab it down here. It gets too hot because the air coming back up burns your fingers. So what a lot of people do is they grab it here and block off the air intake. I've done that myself. I've picked it up. I'll be using it like this because the hot air, I'm heating up something. I'm not using it to do any hot air, soldering and repair work. But yeah, I've picked up here, and it gets red hot, and things go pear shaped. But that's that, and that's what those hot air tips go on there. That's all fine. But the main part of it, what I liked is that it's about probably a third of the size of the one on my bench. And when I'm doing work, oh, that's probably screws on there. There it goes. Of course it does. Silly me. There's me thinking it goes on here. It doesn't go on there. It goes on here. So there's your 2 tapped screw holes there. This is light as a feather. It must use switch mode technology. There's no transformer in it, so it's all switch mode. And up and down buttons. Oh, it's got calibration, slots for a little screwdriver, power on, soldering station, and rework station. Okay, what does it say on the back? Input 220 volts AC. Yes, well, I don't think I'm reading that right. The power. It is fuse. Why such a big fuse? That's nuts. I'll let you read that for yourselves. Can you read that? I hope it's in frame. But that looks a little bit excessive power-wise. It's not a electric heater. Well, it is an electric heater, but it's not made to warm your house. Oh dear me, it's amazing. Okay, so it's probably only draw 60 watts or something. It's not going to draw 680 watts or anything like that. Yeah, so that's what it is. 65 Australian pesos. I mean dollars. So in US, that'd be 40 something US dollars. How cheap? Oh, Yaboli 8586D. Now they put D after a lot of this stuff. I don't know what the D means. Different connectors here, you can't confuse. But I can't get over how light that is. That just feels like, it's just so light. Got rubber feet. Always make sure the rubber feet are actually done up properly, because nothing worse than if one falls off and you lose it and it turns into a tripod unbalanced, But they're rubber feet, so yeah, no problem on the table, scratching it or anything like that. But yeah, I just thought that was a really cheap deal for something like this, because I remember I did the other video about the Chinese soldering stations, but this one, nice and small. It's got all hot air and the iron. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hook it up and see how it goes. I've got to get rid of the other clunker thing on my workbench and see how this goes. Hopefully, I actually rebuilt my other iron, and I use beautiful silicon cable, and it's got a really good feel to it. You've got to be careful with these. You can't just interchange irons, because they're all wired different, and in the irons themselves, the ceramic heater core, they have different resistances on the heating element. It can range from half an ohm to about 2.6. They may even go higher, but the real problem is on the temperature sensing, because some use nichrome wire as a like an element that gets hot and changes resistance, and others use something more like a thermistor type setup. And if you hook up the wrong one and they're all different. They can be 5 ohms, 15 ohms, 30 ohms. You hook it up wrong, and what will happen is that it won't temperature regulate. It'll just power the iron. Um, with, I think these put out 24 volts. Power the iron, burn the elements out. So you got to be careful. And also, when you replace the elements, don't get the sensor and the element around the wrong way. You will also burn out either the sensor or the element by doing that. So yeah, gee, it's just it's so light. The other one I've got, it feels like a couple of house bricks. It's got a big transformer in it. So I just hope this doesn't make a whole heap of interference when I'm working on stuff, when I'm doing sensitive electronics. Hopefully it's shielded well enough. Otherwise I'll be filling it up with capacitors and inductors, big, and snubber networks and all sorts, because yeah, I always have the iron on, and I don't want the thing making a whole heap of switching noise when I'm trying to work on sensitive circuits. Anyway, that's good enough for this video, I think. Hopefully, yeah, the audio is still working. Yep. Sometimes these microphones, they don't hold that much charge, and in the middle of talking away or making a video, it dies. But anyway, that's a little clip-on microphones. I better not put it over there. You won't be able to hear me. So I'm just trying to lean back behind the camera at the moment, and yeah, hit the stop button. So that's that. I've got another video coming out on the Algo Force E1500. I've been in contact with the fellow that designed that detector, and I've got a lot of information, more information on it, because as it's a very new detector, we need to find out why we're getting quirky results, and yeah, he's explained it all to me. So I'll read out his email about the instructional points in another video anyway. My coffee's going cold, so I'll leave it there and catch us on the next one.